Good morning, I'm Jessica Williams and welcome to Living Local 15. Today's show will be very informative. As we lead up to Easter Sunday, the Allen County Public Library is here to share Easter in spring books. It's also Wealth Wednesday, so Foster Financial is joining me to talk about how the increase in federal interest rates could affect you. And Doc Dancer is here, and we learn about spring maintenance on your HVAC system. That and more happening now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
As you all know, this week is spring break and Easter is this upcoming Sunday. So we thought it would be fun to bring in the Allen County Public Library to share about books and activities that you can check out. And joining me is their communications director, Aja Michael Keller. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having
me.
I'm great.
Good. Happy spring.
Yes, finally.
I know, it's like been waiting forever. And so I'm really excited about the collection that you brought in today because everything looks so interesting and different. And I know we're going to learn about some new items people probably didn't know that they can check out from the library.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Thank you for having us in. And of course, spring has sprung. So we are here and lots of stuff to talk about. First off, Easter is this weekend, so we want to make sure that folks know that there are lots of ways to tell that Easter story with their family.
Yeah.
And here are a couple of options. I brought Easter by Jan Pinkowski, and this is a children's book. And it is selections from the King James Bible, illustrated in a way that you can tell the story to your kids. It's a powerful story. And one that you want to have with your children so that they can understand, if that is your family's faith.
Right. And this book is so beautiful, by the way. The gold foil, I was like, ooh, I was attracted to that immediately. But yeah, that's so great telling the story.
Yes, so that's an option for a children's book. And then if you are, this one made me think of my granny. This is on Calvary's Hill, and it's 40 readings for the Easter season. So it's daily devotionals for the 40 days leading up to Easter, which is a very holy time for Christians.
Yes.
And so it made me think of my granny because she always had a book of devotional sitting around. She would read it. It was a quick way for her to kind of center herself for the day. She would drink her coffee and read, a couple pages, a few paragraphs, and it would sort of give her spirit some peace as she started the day. So it made me think of her when they brought that to my desk.
I love that, and just really commemorating the reason for the weekend, really, which is the resurrection of Jesus, and so I love those book options. Okay, what else do we have?
So we also have some more kids' Easter books. This one is Easter Starring Egg, and it's by Cynthia Platt, and it's a children's book. This egg, he's all bedazzled for the big day, and he wants to meet that perfect kid that he knows was meant to meet with him. So
this book is so fun. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's all glittery.
The illustration is amazing. And I love the idea of just like reading, during this time. And yes, Easter egg hunts, yes, different rituals and celebration is good, but just engaging in books,
yes,
is so great. Okay.
And my kids love to read about anything. And sometimes we have a hard time, like, what are we going to read next, And so looking at things seasonally helps because it sort of reinforces what they're hearing and seeing in the community as well.
Awesome.
We also have this one for teens. So this is, let me make sure I get the title and everything right. This is Happily Ever Island. And so this is a spring break story. So, it's teen romance, and it's she gets dumped right before spring break. And she and her friend go on this like amazing Disney vacation. And it's all about how she just kind of finds joy and learns about herself, in those teen years without, having to have a partner. So
yeah, resilience. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, a few other things. So springtime's here, so that means we're thinking about gardening. And so I brought a book called Fix Your Garden because I can't grow anything. Like I kill all plants. And so I was looking at this one. This is very simple. It has some great illustrations that make it really easy for folks even like me to not kill all the plants.
Right.
So it's really geared towards first-time gardeners and gardeners living in small spaces or urban spaces. So that makes a lot of sense.
You can have a little, I mean, you don't have to have a big home to have a garden. You can have something on your patio, just planting seeds. I'm right now growing a little orchid plant.
Okay.
Yeah. A friend of mine gave it to me for my birthday, and it was so cute and little. And so I'm like watering it each day, trying not to kill it the same, right? So I may need to check out some of these books on how to keep plants alive.
A trail of dead orchids in my wake. I try because they're so beautiful.
Yeah,
they're
they
so
are.
Beautiful,
They are.
So something folks probably don't know about is our seed library. And so this is the time of the year to get in there.
What is that?
Okay, it's so cool.
Okay.
It's going to blow your mind. So seed library is literally, we have seeds. These are for salad bowl green lettuce. And you take them, you check them out, you take them home, you put them in the ground, you love them, you care for them, you grow some lettuce, you eat the lettuce, but you save some of the seeds and you bring them back to the library for folks to check out next year.
So that's the return, because I'm thinking, how do you check out the seeds? Like,
and if you're like me and you kill the lettuce, it's okay.
Okay.
You know, it's all right.
Not gonna get a penalty.
we want you to return those seeds just to keep it going. But if something goes awry, it's going to be okay. So we don't want that fear to stop people from checking them out and using them and trying to grow some things.
Yes, and we have to talk about the baking stuff that you brought in. So first off, cooking is just so incredible this time of year, any time of year. I love cooking personally. Do you like to cook?
I love to cook. I love to bake. So
so this is perfect. So you brought in a cookbook, but share with us about these baking tools. This is new to me, at least.
So these come out of our Library of Things, which is actually housed at Little Turtle, but you can access it across the entire system. And the Library of Things houses all sorts of different items, everything from baking kits to knitting kits, guitars, all sorts of items for people to check out, try, see if maybe I don't know if I'm into playing guitar, but I want to check it out.
Yeah.
You can check it out at the library. And this is a baking kit that you can check out. This is just a little bit of the kit. It comes with a book on the basics of cake decorating. So if you want to do something kind of like what's in this book, which I grabbed, this is the Great British Baking Show, if you watch that. Paul Hollywood's book, A Bake for All Seasons. So there's a whole section on spring baking. And let me show you this cake.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
That is like
the flowers,
spring.
That is so spring.
In a cake. So beautiful.
Oh, and it's lemon cake. Yeah. I love lemon cake. So that's so cool. So people can literally check out these baking tools, use them, test them out, clean them, of course, and then bring them back.
Sure.
And then you can just access these items and so many other hobbies that you had mentioned. Who knew? Who knew?
A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. So that's what I'm here to tell you all about it.
That's
Check out the Library of Things.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing about these assortment of books and also these really cool things that people can experience. Very awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Look forward to having you again. As you heard, there's so many incredible things that you can experience at the library. So we will make sure to leave their website information below so that you can check out the closest location near you and enjoy your spring break. We'll be right back.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome back to Wealth Wednesdays, where we are giving you sound financial advice. And of course, we have Caleb Doan, Vice President of Foster Financial. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well, thanks.
Good. Midweek.
Yes.
Really good information. I'm excited because today we're talking about the Feds and how they are raising the interest rates. What is going on? Share us.
So of course at the end of March, the Fed raised interest rates another 25 basis points, which is 0.25%. And I think, we've talked about it a little bit before, but I think a lot of times people at home will think, hey, this is on the news all the time, but I don't really understand why it affects me. I'm not refinancing my house, I'm not taking out a new mortgage, so what do the interest rates actually do to impact me?
Right.
And we talked a little bit before about how they can impact bonds in somebody's portfolio, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about how if somebody has a significant amount of cash in the bank, it can really impact them as well. And so, there's kind of a couple factors that are impacting that. First, we have to understand, why they're raising rates in the first place, and that's because inflation is so high. And then secondly, what could potentially be the solution to that is the fact that since they are raising interest rates so high, things like bonds and fixed annuities are yielding a lot higher rates. And so those are kind of the two pieces that'll be helpful for people to know.
Okay, and that really does have a direct impact on investors because this is where they're holding their money. And so as these rates inflate or change, rather, people are being directly impacted. So how are they?
Yeah, good question. So, the first piece with inflation. So, a lot of times we talk about how inflation is something that you're not going to see on your bank statement. You're not going to see it on your 401k statement. But over time, it slowly reduces the purchasing power of that cash that you have in the bank.
Okay.
So, if you just kind of think about it, $100,000 10 years ago could buy a nice, maybe 3-bed, 2-bath house on 10 acres of land, let's say. And now, if you still have that $100,000 and it was in your bank over the last 10 years, it's probably still right around $100,000 because interest rates were so low in banks. That $100,000 can now only buy, maybe a little bit more worn in 2-bed, 2-bath on 2 acres of land, let's say. And so you can see how the purchasing power of that $100,000 has reduced pretty significantly over time. And that's really what the impact of inflation does.
Okay, and this inflation, so basically you're saying that it's a direct impact of inflation is based on why they are increasing the interest, and then that reduces the buying power of individuals. And so what can people do as this is happening? Like if their buying power is reduced, where does their power lie?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a two-edged sword because they're raising these rates to try to curb inflation, but since they are raising these rates, you can get a lot higher interest rate on something like a fixed annuity, for example. So typically, people's cash in the bank, it's not earning a very high interest rate. Usually the checking and the savings account give you very, very low yield, right? You're not looking at your statement every month to see how much interest you made because it's almost negligible.
Right.
And a lot of times people are hesitant to put their money in the stock market because it's so volatile, right? So, the solution is something that's, still a very conservative investment, but can yield a lot higher than what your checking or your savings account can. And so what we've been leveraging for a lot of clients is what's called a fixed annuity. And so it doesn't, fluctuate with the stock market. A fixed annuity has a stated interest rate. Right now they're upwards of 5%. And so the stock market could go down 10%. The fixed annuity is still giving you 5%. And so the only thing you kind of trade off is a little bit of liquidity. In the bank, if you want the money, you can go get it right away.
Right.
If you put some of that money in a fixed annuity, it's kind of set aside for a few years, but you get that stated interest rate and you get to retain some of that purchasing power that you'd otherwise be losing in the bank.
And so if someone doesn't know what an annuity is, can you describe that?
Yeah. So an annuity it's actually an insurance product, okay? So insurance companies will kind of issue these annuities. And what you do is, you give them the $100,000. They say, great, thank you. We will give you 5% interest on this $100,000 every single year for 5 years, let's say. After the 5th year, you get all that principal back plus the interest of that 5% for every single year. And then you can put it back in your bank or, put in another annuity or something.
And so what is the main difference between an annuity and a CD? Because a CD also operates in the same way.
Yeah, that's a great question. So a CD, I would almost describe the CD as kind of playing right in between being cash in the bank and being in an annuity. So the CD is maybe a little bit more liquid than the annuity, meaning you could kind of get to it within the term if you really needed to, depending on the type of CD. But the annuity typically pays a slightly higher interest rate.
Okay.
So that's the kind of trade-off. You give up a little liquidity, but you get a higher interest rate.
Okay, yeah, because you can't, once it's fixed and it's there, you cannot touch it.
Right.
Okay.
Or it's just a little more difficult. There can be, different surrender charges and stuff like that. And
Okay,
so
yes.
that's really the main thing that you give up. But it can be a great way to kind of retain some of that purchasing power, especially when inflation is at a 40-year high like it is now.
I cannot believe it. Well, thank you so much, Caleb,
Yeah.
for providing that information and really sharing with us ways to avoid losing our buying power.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely.
you. And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, we'll be sure to list their contact information below so you can contact them and receive your complimentary consultation. We'll be right back.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. This segment sponsored by Doc Dancer. Doc Dancer has served the Fort Wayne area with trusted and reliable heating, cooling, and generator services. Joining me today is their co-owner, Dale Hubert. Hi, Dale.
Hi, Jessica.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
How's it going? Yeah.
Very good. Well, so we're starting to get some warmer weather, so that's good.
We are.
So,
it's getting there. I'm excited about that. Yes, and I'm sure this affects your business in different ways.
It's almost Christmas season for HVAC season, or for HVAC companies. So.
That's great. So start off by just giving us a reminder about your business and giving us a little overview.
Well, Doc Dancer, we've been in business 77 years, actually. We're actually the oldest heating air company in Fort Wayne. We're just locally owned. We're not a nationwide chain or anything like that. We got about 34 employees at Doc Dancer, and got very good installer teams. We have 5 teams. My newest lead installer guy has been here at least 10 years. Wow. Very experienced guys. With Reader's Choice Awards, something the Fort Wayne newspaper has every year, we've been voted #1 in Fort Wayne the last 3 years in a row, and 6 out of the last 9 years. So.
That's incredible. I mean, voted #1 and having just such a longevity in your business here is very incredible. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
And the biggest thing I would ask is what do you feel sets you apart from other HVAC companies here locally?
Once again, just experience, really. Just got a lot of guys have been here forever. We're really truly a family type atmosphere at work. We like even my installers that have been here 10 plus years. We pay our guys their hourly rate as you would expect, but whatever your job is worth. We also pay our guys a 1% bonus if they install everything correctly. Oh, nice. Callbacks cost us money. I don't want to come back and fix it there. So, and I can't tell you that that's going to that we can charge you more because of that. So we want the jobs done right. We want the guys to care about what they're doing on every job that they do, no matter how easy or difficult it is. So we really promote a family type atmosphere inside the company. We do a lot of things outside of work as well together. So. Yeah. But even go out of town, 1 weekend a year, we pay for everything, and we go up to like the Indiana Dunes, we pay for everything, and just have a bunch of team bonding, bunch of games and stuff like that, and we pay for all the food and the hotel stays and everything. So.
That's nice. So. That's important. Bringing the company and the employees together outside of work and just having that retreat, and that annual retreat. Yep. That's very cool to hear about. And that family environment, I'm sure, just really allows for you to expand with your programs and with different services. So can you share with me about the maintenance programs that you all offer?
So yes, we do have a general maintenance where we come out twice a year. It costs $199 a year. We come out in the spring, we'll tune and clean your air conditioner and everything. We take off the cage, wash the coils and everything there, check all the amp draws, check the refrigerant levels there, and then in the fall we come back and tune and clean your furnace there. What you also get with that, if you're a customer, is you never have to pay overtime hours. If you do have a breakdown that's off peak hours, you'd never have to pay overtime hours. You also get 15% off any parts and repairs on there. If you've had our system installed by us and continue doing the maintenance, your first year's free, but if you continue doing the maintenance, we keep extending your labor warranty another year. Every year you keep that up to 10 years, so you have 10-year parts and 10-year labor on your new system as well. So, that's what we do.
That's pretty great. And so let's talk about that a little bit further, because right now, clearly, we just hit spring, and you were talking about that being a maintenance season. So is that just the transition between the weather change and just people needing to really focus or change from having their heating to now having their cooling system, just to make sure everything's okay?
Sure. Jessica, I always tell people there's 2 types of people in the world. There's proactive and reactive there. So being prepared for what's coming up next is important there. It's always, if you've got an older system, I would always say it's better to change out out the system on your terms instead of its terms. Air conditioners don't break down when it's 40 degrees outside, but they do when it's 90 out. And so, you know, everybody's going to be real busy at that time. And if you need to get an air conditioner switched out, that is the busiest time of season for HVAC companies on there. And you could be waiting weeks to get an air conditioner installed. So if you know your AC is old, it's probably time to look at possibly replacing or having it looked at and checked out there. Now, doing the tune and cleans, getting ready for the summer rush. Doing the tune and cleans can help with your efficiency levels, help stave off breakdowns on your system, and just help the longevity of the equipment as well. So it's kind of like your car. If you're going to change your oil and be good to your car, it'll be good to you. So if you're going to be good to your HVAC system, it'll be good to you. If you're not, and you're only going to worry about it when it breaks down, you're going to have more problems and more expensive problems and shorten the life of your system as well.
Okay, that's good. And so that's how we should prepare for the summer as well.
Yes.
Just doing these maintenance and doing the check-ins. And they can sign up for this maintenance program by contacting you all?
Absolutely. 744-3251. So we can get you signed up on there and have some very good technicians come out and see what you got. And if you got questions, I give free estimates as well. If you're looking at possibly replacing a system there, I'll answer all your questions. If I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know, but I'll find out the answer for you on there. So
perfect.
But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dale, for coming in and sharing about that.
Okay.
And as Dale said, it is time to be proactive. So get your free estimate from Doc Dancer. We'll be sure to leave their website below, and we'll be right back. This segment sponsored by Doc Dancer.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, it's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.